need to have your indefinite leave to remain in the UK before you can apply for a mortgage. One very important thing you need to have at the back of your mind is that you need to be working for at least 2 years. You need to have been working uninterrupted for 2 years. Keep record running at least for 2 years for you to be able to apply for, for mortgage. You know, one very important thing as well that I need to let you know is that having a mortgage is all about running checks. It's all about your affordability. It's all about your eligibility. You know, just like if you want to apply for instance, a credit card, or you want to apply for a specific thing in the UK, or you want to go on car finance, things like that, they will run something that is called eligibility. You don't have to have indefinite leave to remain in the UK before you can do some things. So long you reside in the country legally and you are working legally and you have what is called, you've been paying your tax, you have P60s, you have proof of address and things like that. Legal things that they can run those checks on, okay? You can apply for mortgage with that, all right? So a lot of people were saying in the comment section that you have to have your indefinite leave to remain in the UK before you can apply for a mortgage. No. I have a good number of people who just came to the UK within 4 years. They have their own property. People came to the UK within 3 years now, working in the, you know, maybe they came on a tier 2, tier 3 visa, and they've been working since then. And today, I can tell you for a fact that they have their mortgages. Let's be very honest with ourselves. There is nothing to deceive ourselves here. If you think you doubt it, if you doubt if you are qualified, you've been working in the UK for over 3 years, but you are not sure of yourself. Is there anything wrong in trying? Even if you are not sure, even if me talking to you now, you still do not believe me. Is anything wrong in you just trying if you're interested in it? But I am telling you today that if you've been in the UK for 3 years and you've been working legally, if you've been in the UK 3 years legally and you've been working, you have proof to show. You have proof to show that you've been working in the country. You can apply. I think you are definitely eligible, depending on, you know, the kind of salary that you earn, depending on the kind of work you do. You definitely, it doesn't necessarily mean. So the whole point of this is that not until you have your indefinite leave to remain before you can apply for mortgage. You can apply for your mortgage even when you are just 3 years legally in the UK. This is quite important. And another question I need to answer is this: should I apply with my partner? Should I not apply with my partner? What happens if me and my wife, or me and my husband, rift happens between both of us in the future and we're calling for divorce? Now, let me tell you something. Applying as joint, if you're going to go into joint purchase, it is totally different from when you are going as an individual. If you are going as an individual, right, that means you must be earning a lot of money to be able to purchase a specific property, except if the property is just like 50,000. I don't know what property will be sold for 50,000, except those very old properties, maybe a bed flat or 2-bedroom flat or 1-bed house in a very, very, very local areas. You can get them for very old house that you need to spend like extra 100,000 to refurbish them. But if you are applying, if you are buying properties worth like 300,000, okay, you must be earning a whole lot of money to be able to kind of, you know, for them to be able to give you that kind of a mortgage. You understand what I'm trying to say? But if you're applying joint, if you're doing joint purchase, so that means the income of your wife and the income of your husband put together, they will run checks on it to see if both of you can actually be able to afford the mortgage. And I think it pays better if you're going to apply it together. Now, when it comes to you asking the question, if anything happens in the future, how are you going to split? What's going to happen? Because it is joint, okay? It is written on that particular contract, a deed of agreement, that it is joint purchase. So if anything is going to come up in the future, it's still going to be split depending on whatever percentage is going to be. So you're not going to lose anything anyways, all right? You're not going to lose anything. Take, for instance, your deposit is 25,000 or 20,000. Take, for instance, to deposit for a particular property, and you bring 10,000. Your wife brings 10,000 together. That's 20K. All right. In the future, the equity on that property, all right, whatever comes on that particular property in the future will be split because it's a joint purchase. Don't forget, it not necessarily mean that you have to buy with your partner. You can equally buy with a very close friend, someone you know you can trust yourselves. You know, you can buy with, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a partner. You can buy with your friend, so long as joint purchase. All right. So I hope that answers your question. But then the most important aspect of this particular video is that you don't have to have indefinite leave to remain before you can apply for a mortgage in the UK. You can be in the UK for 3 years and still apply for it and you'll be approved. You just have to be working. Working 2 years or working 3 years in the UK can fetch you your mortgage. You understand? And you don't have to go for too expensive mortgage. Don't go for neck-breaking kind of mortgage. Understand? Because you might not be able to continuously sustain the mortgage, the payment of the mortgage. Go for something very low, for a start, since it's going to be your first house. Go for something very, very low. At least, if you can pay 1,600, 1,700 every month on someone else's mortgage, paying someone else's mortgage, you can as well pay that same amount of money on your own mortgage. And then after 5 years, it's something else for you. So don't dull yourself. It is a good thing. I'm telling you, don't let anybody deceive you or